Hey, let's have a look at what's happening in America at the moment. CNN had quite a spectacular exclusive today. So in America today, well, today our time, there was a meeting going on at Tesla where Elon Musk got onto the phone to talk about what's going on. Now, he apparently was on the phone for something like 90 minutes. Whilst he was still on the phone, someone in that conversation was feeding the phone call to CNN. So they were either recording it in real time and emailing it in, or they had a CNN call going the whole time that they were just on a speakerphone and they were listening to it. Because I don't know if you'll hear it in this or if I've cut it from the beginning, but they say this phone call is going on right now. And while it's going on, they're playing clips from the phone call. Let's have a listen to a little bit about what Mr. Musk got up to today.
There's been some blowback for the time that I've been spending in government with the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE.
There are some challenges, and I expect that this year will be there'll probably be some unexpected bumps this year.
This is this earnings call that's going on right now from Tesla.
So it's going on right now. So it was happening in real time.
Will be more bumps, he says, because even though Musk tonight said he is keeping his word and stopping his full-time work for Trump and DOGE next month, which he is required to do with his role as a special government employee, right? So that's what he's already said he was going to do. The truth is, the headline may not be that he's stepping aside as he was saying he was due. It's actually that he is not going anywhere.
I'll continue to spend, a day or two per week on government matters for as long as the president would like me to do so.
A day or two a week. I mean, 2 days a week out of 5. I mean, you get it, right? That's 40%. That's a lot of time. I mean, that would mean for roughly the next 3.5 years, if Trump wants him around, Elon Musk is going to be in the Oval Office with Trump a couple days a week. Now, that's obviously significant. And Elon is speaking on this Tesla call, spoke for a majority of the call, in fact, which began about 90 minutes ago. And just to be very clear, Elon Musk being on the call and talking for as long as he has, right? So we're now talking 90 minutes or so this has been going on, is not a business as usual thing. He does not usually get on this call and talk. In fact, in 2021, he said this.
I think going forward, I will most likely not be on earnings calls unless there's something really important that I need to say.
So there you go. So he was planning way back that he wasn't going to be on them very much at all, unless there was something bad happening. And he spent between 90 minutes and 2 hours on a call today because there's stuff that's bad that's going on. I'm actually not going to play the one news story because the introduction actually does it all. We'll play the introduction as to what's happening in America right now. And it is in the theme of what's happening at Tesla and what's happening to the economy. And then I'll show you a few other things.
To other news, the US president now says huge tariffs on China will be reduced, quote, substantially, marking another...
So he's back down again. So they called his bluff. China called his bluff and he's backing down.
A significant Trump turnaround. This follows a major report ringing alarm bells about the global economic outlook. The International Monetary Fund, the United Nations financial agency, paints a gloomy picture in its latest global financial stability report. It slashed the growth outlook worldwide, blaming Trump's tariffs for fueling uncertainty.
So he's potentially bringing down, impacting the whole world with the tariffs.
This includes a forecast economic slowdown for our two largest export markets, China and the US. The main concern is America, the world's biggest economy, expected to be the hardest hit. As this graph shows, its economy was projected to grow 2.7% this year. Now it's been downgraded to 1.8%. Forecast declines for other major economies like Canada, Japan, UK and Germany, also adding to global nervousness. But the substantial fall in the US will have the biggest knock-on effect. And as the saying goes, when America sneezes, the world catches a cold. So what's the forecast for New Zealand? Here's Ryan Boswell.
So we're not going to have a look at the overall story. Elon is now saying that the Tesla profit falling by that much is actually because of his interaction with the White House. It's all been acknowledged, which of course we all knew. There's a few other things to talk to about what's happening in America at the moment and why it's failing. But remember one thing, what the stock market did in the last few weeks, the only other times it's done that kind of rapid fall, rapid increase was 87, stock market crash, and 08, global financial crisis. So even though stock market looks more stable today than it was, just be aware of what's happened before and what it led to. Chewie, you want to jump in with anything yet?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you want to jump in with anything yet, or should we keep trucking?
Oh, look, I saw a thing from last Thursday that was saying that the stock market hasn't had a dip like this since 1932.
Yeah.
So, like, it's devastating, and for people like Musk, like a huge portion of Tesla gets manufactured in China. There's a massive factory there. The batteries are made there, and that sort of thing. He'll crow about his gigafactories in North America, but it's China doing the business. And like, it's been notable for Tesla owners that the ones made in China are actually better quality than the ones made in America. So yeah, he's been caught up by going, well, I'm going to hitch my wagon to Trump and all of his nonsense. And I think completely ignored that for Tesla customers, at least, it ran counter to what a lot of his customers expected. The reasons that they buy Tesla. And I think this is just something that people have been grumbling about. Like, would you please run your company, not run off and buy Twitter and just shit post your life away? And now he's going, oh, I can shit post in fucking politics now. I'm going to
What's also happening is, I saw a commentator the other day talking about, the $25,000 Model 3 or whatever they're talking about in the future. They've basically given up on that, because now all Elon's interested in is AI, robots, and driverless cabs, and has said as much that this is the future of Tesla, is AI, is robots, and is driverless cabs. So Tesla fanboys and girls out there who are looking forward to having the new Model Y every single year, I don't think there's going to be a plan for that in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now, according to Musk today.
It is baffling to me that Tesla shares are still $200 a piece. Like, it makes no sense. The amount of pie in the sky promises that he has made over the years that have just turned into vaporware. Like, he's promised that we'll be on Mars next year, like 7 years in a row. Like, his whole thing of like, oh, your car will make money for you while you're at work as a taxi. Is that something that people want? Is it something that it is capable of? No. But he keeps mentioning it. Like, I saw a couple of screen grabs of a Tesla customer going, hey, look, if these cars are self-driving, why are we waiting for them to be delivered on trucks? Surely they could just be delivered to the customer's house.
That's a very good point.
And he's going, oh, yes, well, that's coming next year. That's coming next year. That's coming. Full self-driving, still not regulated, still not good enough. It's very good, but it's not good enough.
Did you see that Mark Rober experiment?
If he just promised smaller, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Did you see the Mark Rober experiment?
No.
So Mark Rober tested a Chinese car that's got LiDAR instead of radar.
Oh, yeah.
And he tested Teslas with their cameras. And the LiDAR worked like seeing a child in the road through rain and all these sorts of things, and the Teslas didn't. So when you say that it's pretty good, when you go into, and they did one, and there's a bit of controversy over it, but if you look at interviews with Mark Rober afterwards, he explains what happened is that they put a like a road runner sign in front of the road.
Oh, yeah.
That was a picture of the road, and the Tesla went through it, and the LiDAR stopped, because all the LiDAR saw was a sheet, sort of thing. And I know there are some look, Tesla has been dishonest with a lot of their selling for a long time. Remember that whole thing about it can beat a 911 Porsche over the quarter mile towing a 911 Porsche? They didn't run that over a quarter mile. They ran that over an eighth of a mile. And there's lots of debunking out there that shows the thing it was the drag strip it was on, the finishing line that they had in place, which were in front of these blue chairs. And if you look at the whole thing, those blue chairs are only halfway down the quarter-mile strip. So they haven't been honest for a long time, Chewie. Like even that's is that criminal? Certainly against any kind of broadcasting standards to say that they're faster than a 911 over a quarter mile when they're not racing over a quarter mile.
Cybertruck will have a 700-kilometer range. It'll
Yeah.
be bulletproof. It'll be it'll be able to float. Like it'll be the toughest made American truck ever. Yeah. So based on that, like this is what I was saying at the top of the show, right? Tesla shares break the stock market because shares are supposed to be like a manifestation of how well the company's going.
Yeah,
Of
reflecting it.
consumer confidence, right? So if you say in an earnings call that your profit has gone down 71%, then your share price should tank as people go, oh, fuck, we're not making as much money this year. And they offload their shares. It doesn't happen. Like his shareholders don't seem to care that he lies about the products that they're making.
It is strange as well because the only Tesla product he's really been involved with is the Cybertruck, and the Cybertruck is the new Edsel. Because all the Model 3, the Y, they were basically all designed when he bought the company, as much about them was. Yet the Cybertruck is his, so he is literally a 9-year-old boy when it comes to drawing up what he wants. And the thing is, if it had been cool and worked, that'd be great. But it's not. And I know Whistling Diesel. Do you look at Whistling Diesel videos? I like Whistling Diesel. Yeah. And they tested the Cybertruck and they do ridiculous things like jumping it off things, but they ripped the tow bar off the frame because it was aluminium, and aluminium doesn't hold and they had an F-150 Ford doing the same things. The F-150 Ford never ripped the tow bar off the frame, no matter how hard they did it. So Teslas. Anyway, look, let's get back to the story about America, because that's a big part of it. But America is in free fall at the moment in lots of areas. Here's an example. Airlines and hotels and cruise ships are all struggling. Visitors from Western Europe plunged 17%, while those coming from Mexico, excluding by land, dropped by 23%. Canadians were also cutting back their trips to the US, with return trips by car dropping 32% in March. Statistics Canada says flight bookings from Canada to the US are down by 75% in April compared with 2024 levels, and more than 70% lower for every subsequent month through September, according to travel data company OAG. So people don't want to go there. And that's actually been seen all over the place. Actually, we'll come back to that one. This is a place called Point Robertson. I'll play you 60 seconds of this video and what's happening in Point Robertson.
Welcome to Point Roberts, Washington, a tiny American town stranded below British Columbia. Now it's a frontline casualty in Trump's tariff war. Business is collapsing. Tourists aren't crossing the border. And Trump's tough talk on Canada, it's turning longtime friends into boycotters.
I'll explain it to you, right? So Point Robertson, whatever it is. So this is the American border here, yeah? There's Point Roberts, there.
Oh,
so there's the border. There's Canada. There's America.
That's super weird.
It's not uncommon though. I'll show you Detroit as well, I think. So people are refusing to now come down to these beaches, which obviously if you lived up here in the city, that would be a holiday place. They're just not going. The business owners are being told, we'll see you in 4 years. They're not going because they're refusing to come into America. I'm pretty sure it's Detroit. Detroit will be the same thing. This is not the report on Detroit. Where's Detroit? It's over by Michigan, the lakes and stuff. Oh, way over there. Is it there?
Oh, it's over there. Okay.
Is that Detroit? No. I'm gonna lose it. Anyway, Detroit has the same thing. On one side of Detroit, you go across a bridge and you're in. Oh, there's another little one there that probably doesn't count though. And you're in Canada, and it's the same sort of thing. There'll be. Oh, look, here we go. It's over here, is it? Oh, there we go. Detroit. So there's Detroit, right? The border is the river. So this side here is Canada. This side is America. People will not be going from here to here anymore. because of what's happening with America, what's happening. They don't want to give their money to America. They don't trust America. That's all happening. But the other thing that's going on is people are regretting their votes. And that's happening in a big way. I'll play you 60 seconds of this one. This is South Dakota.
I wanted Trump.
You wanted Trump.
Yep. There was no way in hell I wanted her out there. But now I don't know what would have been better.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting the lower cost of a lot of just your everyday living things and hoping that he would make things better for everybody in America, because that's what we need. Groceries are already outrageous. And then we put the tariffs on across the seas or whatever, like China, all that. It just makes everything more expensive for everybody.
Jamie Basinger is the only.
So, yeah. And I mean, like, on some level, we told you this. They won't be listening to us. But on some level, it's what's happening. So this guy's called Jazza. He is an Australian content creator. He makes art content. Trump ruined my product launch. He does these product launches where he sells, packs of art stuff that he puts together for himself. He's launching a brand new one, can't afford to do it. Tariffs mean they'll be too expensive, can't sell them in America. Huge channel, possibly going to go bankrupt. This is a very teary video about what's going on at the moment. And then there's one other story about this incident from Ben Myelus from the Midas Network. We'll get to that if we've got time, but that's sort of the end of my videos on Trump. But this is very real in America. Tesla is not the outlier just because of Musk's involvement with the government. They are going to struggle everywhere. And in that story that I showed you, the woman saying we want Trump to make, there are Trump supporters who are struggling, but they're still saying, but we're still prepared to trust him. What they don't know is it's not going to get any better. They're like, I can handle it now, but I don't know for how long. So in another 3 months, when that CNN show goes back, they'll all be like, yep, this was a mistake. Yeah, I was going to read you one other thing by Ben Myelus. It's quite long, but it's pretty terrifying. Is there anything else you want to jump in on with that American and general news?
There's a lesson there for us in there. Like, everybody gets a vote. Not everybody knows what they're voting for, or they've come up with their own ideas of what they think it means.
Yeah.
Like, experts were saying it was a bad idea. Trump wasn't hiding what he wanted to do. He was talking about it incessantly. And I think the feeling was that there would be someone in the room to stop him, or it's all just hot here. The man did what he said he was going to do.
Yep.
And he's done it once, he's done it twice, and then there's people still going, oh, well, I still trust him. I just didn't think it'd be personally affecting me.
Yeah, that's happening a lot.
Weird.
Like when,
that think that way here.
Like when the Latino people are getting deported, and the community is going, but they're one of the good ones. It's like, well, that's not what he said. It's not what he said at all. And it's that old adage: "Fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice, shame on me." I mean, there are stories coming out now that were coming out 4 and 5 years ago, like the soybean world, that because of tariffs that Trump put on then lost all their international customers and still haven't rebounded. Because once an international customer finds another product path, then why would they change? So he crashed businesses last time around. He's doing it again. Fool me twice, shame on you. It's your fault. Yeah. It's not his fault. He said it. What is my Angelou statement? When someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time. What is different though, Chewie, you've just said something that I will reflect actually, is that he did have grown-ups in the room with him last time. I'll just show you this picture again, and then I'm going to move it away and I'm going to read you something from Ben Myelus. Ben Myelus is from the Midas Network. And this is actually a couple of weeks old, but it only came across my feed today. There were grown-ups in the room. This is quite long, but this will give you the gist of what's happening inside the White House. A report on a recent meeting between Trump and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, which is the picture we just saw, by a White House reporter, someone who was present in the room, quoted below. From a White House reporter, I've covered a lot of Donald Trump press conferences over the years. I've seen him lie, deflect, and embarrass himself in countless ways. But what I just witnessed in the Oval Office may have been the most off the rails, unhinged display yet. Trump sat down with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, a serious figure there, to talk about security and alliance unity, but Trump wasn't interested in that. No, Trump used the opportunity to fantasize about annexing Canada. He actually said Canada only works as a state and gushed about how the US would look on a map if we just erased the border and took Canada as our own. This wasn't satire. This wasn't a joke. This was the president rambling about absorbing another sovereign nation while the NATO Secretary General sat there watching this clown show unfold. And it didn't stop there. Trump started pushing the idea of conquering Greenland too, saying NATO might need to get involved in helping the US take it over, as if it's a game of Risk. He literally said we, quote, need it for international security, end quote, and tried to rope NATO into his imperial fever dream. The look on Rutte's face said it all. Then Trump pivoted to his usual bigotry. Instead of talking about defense cooperation or global security, Trump bragged about how he uses transgender people as political pawns to rile up his base before elections, saying Republicans should, quote, bring it up a week before the election to win votes. Are you listening, Mr. Peters? Are you listening, voters of New Zealand First? In other words, he openly admitted he sees cruelty and manufactured culture war nonsense as a campaign strategy. Despicable. When asked about American small businesses hurting from tariffs, Trump did what he always does, lies and bluster. You're going to be so much richer, he said. Meanwhile, Medicaid is being gutted, Social Security is under threat, and Trump's billionaire cronies are cheering as the safety net burns. Oh, and then Trump suggested we start sending drug dealers to the Netherlands. Yes, you read that correct. In a bizarre attempt at humour that landed more like a diplomatic insult, especially considering the NATO Secretary General used to be the Prime Minister of the Netherlands. He kept rambling about how the US doesn't need anything from Canada, said the European Union is very nasty, claimed we can't sell cars in Europe, not true, and then told an utterly deranged story about how he, quote, invaded Los Angeles, end quote, to turn on the water. Another lie pulled from his fantasy land. What actually happened was he diverted water from Northern California, destroying farmland and hurting his own voters in the process. To top it off, I'm nearly finished. To top it off, he said our allies shouldn't worry about Putin, brushing off any concerns about Russian aggression with a shrug. Let me be blunt. This is not normal. This is not politics as usual. This is a dangerous, unstable person with authoritarian fantasies, spewing nonsense in front of our closest allies while the world watches. Keep speaking up. Don't accept any of this as normal. Ben Myelus. Are you scared yet?
It's I'm terrified. It's crazy, and I see politicians play into it because they see something that has worked, and they're like, "Cool, all I have to do to keep my career going is mimic this." Winston,
yeah. I actually, the thing I take away from that, and this is not from what Trump said, but this is what Ben wrote. This is not normal. This is not politics as usual. You heard this before the last election. This is not your father's National Party. This is a dangerous, unstable person with authoritarian fantasies. Sorry, Drew.
But the media over there and the commentators over there keep treating it like it is.
Mm.
They're playing the same playbook, as if this isn't an insane person leading one of the world's richest and most militarily powerful countries in the world, is being run by a boastful wannabe mafia don
Mm.
who's actually a shit-flinging monkey in disguise.
Yeah.
Decades and decades of work building up NATO, building up trade alliances, free trade, all of that sort of thing, gone in like a couple of 100 days.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, and people are scared, man. Like, what do you do? Like, there are more and more comments of like, maybe calling my senator is not enough. Maybe being part of a political party is not enough. Do I need to buy a gun? You know, America's got a fine history of violence solving a lot of problems, rightly or wrongly.
They think it's solving problems.
You know, and that's what I think a lot of people are thinking. It's yeah, like it's 100 days in a week or two.
Yeah.
Why does it feel so much longer?
Out of 4 years.
Why? Oh.